Hi, this is John Barnes, and you're listening to Cop On.
Defeat, my deathless courage, you and I shall laugh together with the storm, and together we shall dig graves for all that die in us, and we shall stand in the sun with a will, and we shall be dangerous. Welcome to Cop On Podcast, you sweet, tart and juicy clementine. My name is Owen, and those opening lines come from the great Lebanese poet Khalil Gibran. If you haven't already done so, do check out his oeuvre. It really is quite masterful. Speaking of masterful, Liverpool Football Club notched up their 20th win in 21 games against Tottenham of the Hotspurs on the weekend. And here to talk about that, talk about our next match against Manchester United, and talk about many other wonderful things, here are some Reds from around the world. Dave, Matt and Brian. Enjoy, you gorgeous listener. Enjoy. Here I am. City are playing at the moment. We don't care. I'm joined by three Liverpool fans around the world in Australia, Hong Kong, Ireland. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Matt and by Brian and by Dave. Dave, I'm going to start with you. It doesn't matter, City, does it? I mean, looking at the table, we're what is it, 14 points clear with a game in hand after City are beating Villa. How do you feel when you look at the table? Because it's weird, isn't it, Dave?
Yes, Owen, we are the inglorious bastards. We are just glorious at the moment. As you said, I think City are battering Villa. It was 5-0 before I came upstairs to do this. It's probably 28-0 at this stage. It doesn't matter. I don't care what City do. Once we win our games, we're 14 points clear with a game in hand. It's Thierry unreal. It's unbelievable. I just can't believe it. I wake up in the morning and still be looking at the table because I think I'm dreaming. It's Area 51 stuff on. It's unbelievable.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I mean, it is. I'm the same. I wake up and I check the table going, wow. It does it give you a sense of vertigo, Matt? I mean, welcome to Cop On as well. It's your first time here. I mean, you know, we need to guard against complacency too, because nothing is guaranteed. We still need 35 more points to guarantee us this elusive title. So it's far from over, isn't it, Matt?
I think it is. Like, I'm amazed, and thanks for having me on, but it doesn't feel real. I keep on hearing the pundits talk about the team as being the best ever, and yes, I think we're amazing, obviously, but I think there's lots of areas for improvement. Like, it's a scary thought, don't you think? Like, a team as good as this can improve. Like, what are we going to look like when we actually improve?
That's a great answer. Where do you think we can improve?
It's a tough one. I feel like we're going to talk about the Tottenham game in a second, but there's areas where I feel sometimes we lose our way a little bit. Like, there's when we control the game, you can really tell we're controlling the game. And there's other areas, like the last half an hour in the Tottenham game, where I felt we were reacting.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll get on to get into that in a bit more detail. But yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, footballing perfection. I mean, have you really seen it? I mean, even Barcelona 5, Real Madrid 0 a few years ago. That was an incredible. I think that's probably the closest I've ever seen to footballing perfection. But real footballing perfection is when you beat your rival 10-0. So I don't think it exists. But looking at that table, Brian, 61 points out of 63, new records being broken everywhere, the best start ever, not just in the Premier League but in any of the top 5 European leagues. And when you think that, PSG, I looked at their run-in to the season, they're playing Nîmes and Dijon and teams like that. And you think, well, how the heck have Liverpool started a season better than them in the Premier League, which is so competitive? How are you feeling about it all?
Oh, it's just orgasmic. I'm just walking around with the biggest smile on my face. I have the fuck you look on my eyes because week in, week out, game in, game out, Liverpool just make easy work of everybody. Like there's not a single team today that I mean, we'll speak about the Spurs team, a Spurs game, but it was just like every other game. We just bossed it. We just squeezed the life out of them, and the points total, the records that we're breaking every week. There seems to be a different record that we've just surpassed, and now we focus on the next big record. I'm lost for words at this team. They're just so unbelievable.
They are indeed, but I mean, you said it was another win. You used the word easy, though. I would suggest it wasn't easy yesterday. I mean, how were your nerves for the last, 15, 20 minutes of that match, Brian?
Totally fine. Absolutely fine. I have full faith in this team. I mean, we were playing Spurs at Spurs, with Mourinho managing them, there was bound to be a section of the game where they had a little bit of momentum. I mean, I was talking to my buddy about this, and we were saying one of the things that Liverpool does so well these days is not only do we manage the game, but we manage the momentum of the game. So the fans in the stadiums, especially the away games, they can't really get going because they only have like little small periods of spells in the game where they can put stuff together, and then Liverpool get the ball back again and just start knocking it back around the back to Virgin, and you can almost feel the air leave the stadium when they think, oh, fuck it, we're not going to see the ball again now for like 10, 15 minutes. So, I mean, yeah, they had their chances, but I mean, if you look at the statistics for the game, we had, I don't know, 700, nearly 800 passes to their 300 odd. They had a couple of spats, and they obviously had a couple of sitters that if they had taken them, it would have been a different story. But no, I just thought even if they had scored in that last period where they were like really, they were stringing a few attacks together. I feel that we could take it up a notch. I thought we were playing well within ourselves throughout that game. That was for me. I mean, you probably disagree with that, but that was the easiest Spurs game I've seen for a very, very, very long time. Like Pochettino's team in their plum when they were on it gave you a very, very, very tough game, and you would have to defend quite a bit, but I didn't feel like we defended that much in that game, to be honest with you.
Interesting stuff. I mean, would you agree with that assessment, Matt?
I don't know. I guess my question is, I felt like they look a little bit leggy, our team, in the last 20 minutes, and obviously Jose changed up his tactics and threw parking the bus out the window. But I mean, Klopp talked about in his post conference as well, just that idea that having so many games in a row and then having a bit of a break actually was a bad thing, and it kind of stopped the rhythm. And so I guess I'm going to disagree with Brian a little bit. I felt a little bit nervous at the end there. I mean, I always felt that we would, even if it was in injury time, I felt like we'd find a way to get back. But I did feel a little bit nervous. Although I have to say, I think it was like around the 74th minute, Son missed. And can I just say that I love watching Son miss? I could watch Son missing on video all day long. It really warms my heart. But I have to say, bit nervous, and I feel like I almost feel a little bit every game that we just win, I feel even more nervous each time.
That's interesting. What about you, Dave? You tell us about your nerves. Were they nerves of steel, or were you sort of, frantically eating at your fingernail?
I was actually, last 10 minutes, I was nervous. When Son missed that one with about 15 to go, I was like this. Because the first half was so good. We were in control. We bossed it. Bobby scored in the 37th minute, but I thought we needed a second. We're away from home. We're in that shiny new stadium, Spurs new stadium for the first time. They're missing a few players, of course. Harry Kane was with the England diving team, the Olympic diving team, I think. But other than that, they had a few chances, but we had a lot of chances too. And we would have really rued them if they would have